Before the very first second of history was ever recorded, human consciousness existed in a unified, original state. Verse 7172 describes a moment where the divine asked every soul a single, definitive question: "Am I not your Lord?" Every soul answered with an instantaneous yes. This pre-temporal agreement serves as the foundational architecture for every human being. It remains a permanent, hidden code, embedded within the soul long before the universe began. Earthly existence serves as a recovery phase, a journey back to an identity finalized before the creation of time. The black stone, framed here in the wall of the Kaaba, stands as the physical witness to that original pre-eternal contract. To enter the physical world, the soul enters the two-state, a realm defined by duality, division, and the limitations of matter. Look at the sheer, unyielding density of this landscape. The weight of physical existence exerts a massive, constant pressure on human consciousness. This pressure causes a systemic memory failure within the human machine, a structural state of forgetting called nisyan. This forgetting is the inevitable result of acquiring a body. The soul is forced to process the frantic demands of survival, fears, hungers, and the weight of the physical world, which slowly drowns out the memory of its origin. Because the original code is still there, but the memory is blocked, humans experience a haunting, permanent tension. We feel an intense, misdiagnosed homesickness, trying to satisfy it through worldly achievements and distractions that eventually run dry. The pervasive anxiety of modern life is the soul's grief over a forgotten home, a place it can no longer see, but can still feel. Worldly pursuits eventually hit a point of maximum exhaustion. When the achievements of the two-state fail to fill the inner void, the soul reaches a state of total system failure. This collapse forces a retreat into the cave state, referencing verse 1810. This is a quarantine zone, a place where the noise and the illusions of physical power are finally silenced. Look at this preserved form. It is the evidence of what happens to the ego when it tries to preserve itself through matter alone. In the cave, the soul finally accepts the total failure of physical power to cheat time or provide a route home. Stripped of its worldly armor, the soul asks for rushd, an activated perception. It seeks a fixed point of reference that exists outside its own exhaustion and the world's changing illusions. Hitting this structural rock bottom is the prerequisite for the human system to reboot. The soul's plea for right guidance creates a vacuum that only an invariant external code can fill. Because every fluid worldly system has failed, the soul requires an anchor that is well guarded and preserved. The answer to the plea for rushd is a highly structured mechanism, the book. This diagram awaits a specific input to close the loop. Verse 1912 commands, "Take the book with strength." This displaces the ego, bypassing inherited traditions, and locks the human soul into a solid, unbroken circuit with its origin. Once activated, the book functions as a recursive diagnostic. It is a code that reads the person, testing their alignment, and realigning their trajectory through the trials of the physical world. Holding the book with this strength physically and spiritually expands the chest. It clears the wreckage of the false self to make room for the original memory to return. As the system resynchronizes, the memory of the primordial yes floods back into the conscious mind. The soul finally reclaims the identity it established before time began. This tracing reveals that time is a perfect Mobius loop. The soul remained within the divine system all along, temporarily blinded by the density of the universe, but never truly lost outside of it. This activation births the running man, an individual who emerges from the cave with absolute, piercing purpose. He is no longer drifting through the amnesia of the world. The soul now operates independently of external validation or social approval. Its internal signal is locked flawlessly onto the original, divine source. The human experience facilitates a conscious, active choice to remember. It provides the pressure necessary to forge a memory that was once only a passive gift. The first yes spoken before time began was a free inheritance, but the second yes is forged through the trials and exhaustion of the physical world. The Kaaba stands as the architectural house of return, marking the point where the soul's earthly loop officially completes. Every wave of pain and homesickness was a system alert, a mechanism guiding the forgotten one back to the source. Our deepest existential longing is the echo of our own eternal voice. It waits for us to grip the truth and answer yes one final time.